Dustin May now available. First question from Alanna Rizzo. Go ahead.
Dustin, how does the recent news about Clayton Kershaw being scratched with back spasms and Tony getting the start today change your plan moving forward in terms of your usage?
Honestly, I have no idea. I would assume that it stays the same. I'm not exactly sure what it is going to be moving forward, though. I was just informed to be hot last night, so I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be moving forward, but I'm sure it's not going to change too much.
How much are you relishing in the role of kind of knowing what you're going to be doing in terms of, perhaps coming out of that bullpen either as a side session or eating up some innings? I mean, it was the same for you in the DS that happened yesterday. How much comfort do you take in that pattern?
No, I'm completely comfortable in there. I mean, like being in the bullpen last year really, really helped me with being able to create a routine kind of sort of thing, being in the bullpen. So I'm completely comfortable being there, and I'm completely comfortable being a starter. So whatever role the team needs, I'm going to be able to play.
In that dugout, when you were watching Victor Gonzalez pitch, you had some sincere emotion when he got that key strikeout. How big has he been for this bullpen for you guys?
No, he's stepped up huge. He's been a phenomenal key to our team and success. I mean, he's been huge being able to come in and get some outs, and he's been completely dominant all year.
What was your initial reaction, Dustin, when you found out that Clayton was being scratched? I mean, he's obviously such a huge piece to this team.
No, I mean it's definitely one of those things you got to think about. I mean, he's been completely dominant all year. He's been an ace. He's back to his form and being completely dominant. I mean, he's definitely a leader and a key guy to our group, and just hope that he's going to be able to come back.
Why is Tony Gonzalez the man for the job?
He was ready to go. I mean, he was lined up. I mean, he was going to throw long during the break, but he got time off, and he had plenty of time off to get ready, and he was ready to go.
Thank you.
Next question is from Dave Vassay. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dave.
Dustin, Andrews said yesterday that they've had to hold you back at times during these playoffs because you want to go so often. Do you believe that changes, and do you feel like you're going to try to continue to make that case?
No, I mean, I'm like I said, I'm ready to go whenever my name's called. I mean, I'm a guy that bounces back pretty quick, so if I'm needed, I'm going to be able to throw whenever that time comes. So if I'm needed tonight, I'm ready to go. If I'm not, then I'll be ready the next time my name's called.
Thanks.
Next question is from Samblum. Go ahead.
Hey, Dustin, I'm curious, just because you're kind of pitching back at home, if you kind of recall, when you played in Northwest High School, I know that not a lot of schools in the area necessarily recruited you right away. What do you kind of remember about that process, and just, what you've accomplished since then?
Well, no, I was a very late bloomer in high school, so I didn't really get a lot of velo until like mid-senior year. So I really didn't talk to a lot of colleges until then. So, I mean, it was very, very slow, and then it kind of all happened within like a couple months. So it was definitely a whirlwind of emotions with it being college teams and pro teams talking to me. So it was definitely a whirlwind, but it was fun.
What does it kind of mean to be kind of having this experience, right in your backyard?
No, it's exciting. I mean, I grew up watching the Rangers play across the street, and being able to play in their new ballpark when it opens is a really cool feeling. I mean, it would have been cool to play in the other one, but I mean, it's super cool being back home and being able to be around family to come to the games, especially now. So it's definitely been a lot of fun.
And then lastly, just Clayton, I think he threw a perfect game against Justin Northwest, probably when you were like 10 or 11 years old. I mean, have you guys ever talked about that? I'm not sure if you were at that game or not, but has that ever come up?
Yeah, I talked about it a lot with some of my high school buddies when we were in high school, and then it was like the first or second time I had initially met Kirsch, I brought it up, and he kind of laughed about it and chuckled, and it was definitely a good combo starter for sure.
Hey.
Next question's from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead.
Hey, Dustin, have you spoken to Tony since he got the news that he was starting? Sort of what did he say? What's he thinking right now?
No, I mean, yeah, I've talked to him. He's excited. I mean, he's just excited to get back on the mound. He's had a couple weeks off, so I mean, he's excited to be up there, and he was excited that his name got called whenever the news came out. So he's ready to go.
What have you noticed is different about the playoffs, pitching in the postseason as opposed to regular season, which you guys have had success, but the postseason's a little different.
I mean, everything is just it means more. I mean, if we lose, we go home. I mean, we got to win to stay in it. So I mean, that's the biggest key right now. We gotta come out with a dub. So whatever is called upon us, we need to go out and execute what we're in there to do. So I mean, we got to go in and do our job, and that's it.
And you started off this conversation by saying that you don't think your job's going to change for the series. What is your job for the series? Do you know what's going to happen in the next few days for you?
Whatever they call upon. I mean, I'm ready to go.
Next question's from Bill Plunkett. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dustin, you say you're ready and you're comfortable either way, but do you like being kind of a wild card weapon on that pitching staff?
It honestly doesn't matter to me as long as I'm being able to be used and be put in the games in important parts, and they feel like it's a good spot for me to be in, and I'm able to go in and get some outs. Then that's what I'm going to do. Has
anyone at any point leading up to this kind of drawn a picture for you of what that is?
No, I mean it's really just been kind of be ready, and then if something changes, we'll let you know.
Thanks.
Next question's from Scott Braun. Go ahead.
Dustin, what do you remember from when you filled in for Clayton Kershaw on opening day, and how did that shape your season?
No, I mean, that was huge for me. It kind of started things off because I wasn't going to be on the roster to open the year. So it kind of opened up a spot for me to come in and kind of show my stuff and kind of show why I deserve to be up. And it played out in my favor to be able to stay up all year.
Next question's from Alden Gonzalez. Go ahead.
Hey, Dustin, I imagine that you were used pretty carefully throughout your minor league career. When did you realize that your arm was pretty resilient and could bounce back quickly? And is there anything that you do from a preparation standpoint that sets you up to be resilient like that?
No, I mean, it was always like that as a starter. So, I mean, I never really got super sore as other guys did. So I was always able to bounce back and come back and throw pretty hard day 2 and day 1. And so it's always been it's just body to body. It kind of changes. So, I mean, I was very blessed with recovery.
I got time for one more. Go ahead, Stephen Hawkins.
Hey, Dustin, when you guys, obviously you'd rather be playing in Dodger Stadium, and with you and Clayton and Max, you guys at all talk about being able to do this close to home, or is it just so different because of the bubble and the fact that it's not the same stadium you guys grew up going to games to?
I mean, it's still exciting being this close to home and being able to compete and have our friends and family come. But I mean, it is still different because not as many can come and you can't see them. So being this close and not being able to see family always sucks. But at least knowing that they're there watching and they're in spirit, if they can't be, then it's still exciting.
Thanks, Dustin.